So thank you very much, Kirsten. It was a great talk and a lot of data and also clinical trials. So really, thank you very much for that. And thank you to be here to answer some questions. Let me start with the first one. So I will start by the hand. And my first question regarding the final steps you presented with the increase of T cell population specific of some ERV is very interesting. So I just wonder if you have the opportunity to look directly in the bone marrow biopsy to see if there is indeed a modification in the let's say tumor infiltrated lymphocyte population inside the bone marrow before and after ESA treatment. Just a very simple way.
Yeah, actually we didn't do that. You mean looking on slides, really? That's what you're thinking?
Yeah.
So we analyzed the T cells from the bone marrow. So what you see here on the UMAP, these are the T cells that are extracted from the bone marrow, but no, we didn't look at the pattern. And I think it's a little bit different here than compared to solid tumors where because the tumor cells are actually all over the place. So I don't know how that would look, but that could be quite interesting. Yeah, we didn't do that. So.
Okay. And another question is regarding the functionality of those T cells, but indeed you will approach this concept by your very large T cell panel because you are exploring the different T cell subpopulation. But indeed, maybe some of those T cells may be much more exhausted or much more immunosuppressed in MDS at the beginning. That has already been shown. And maybe also some functional tests could be interesting to look at that. And did you plan something? And did you have already some data?
But actually, the test I showed that Sine created, the one with the library and the T cell recognition, it is actually a functional test. Yeah. Because those T cell has to bind to the peptide, so they do react. So I think it is actually a functional testing. But of course, we can do different things in vitro, and we have done that also to double check that it also happened in vitro. But I think this is the closest you can come to what's actually happening in vivo in the patients. So
is there a
we have
question?
some questions.
Yes,
Michaela. One of the questions is, how did you select ERV peptide? This question.
Yeah, that's a problem. I mean, that's in this study that is actually now published in Nature Communications last week. But in that study, we took the herbs that were already expressed. It was a published paper because we didn't have the data from the sequencing from the myeloid cells in this first study I was showing. And this, of course, is a problem because, you don't get more upregulation of something that's already upregulated when you treat with ASA. So in a way, this was a stupid design, to be honest. but what we're doing now in the next study, in the study with the PD-L1 inhibitor, we're doing the same kind of study. And here we sequence the CD34 positive cells. And then we'll select the herbs that becomes most upregulated during the treatment, so that we actually get the herbs that get induced by azacitidine and not herbs that are already upregulated. So that's a sort of, I would say it was actually sort of a mistake in the first study, but still, I mean, it shows a lot of interesting data anyway. But,
yeah. There is another question from Françoise Porteux. Did you look at the cytotoxicity of the T cell against hematopoietic stem cells? And is the malignant clone eradicated?
No, we didn't look at it exactly. No, directly. No, we didn't do. You mean an ELISpot, something where you directly measure this? No, we didn't do that. I would say no, because we didn't. I mean, we simply didn't have enough material to do this also. So.
And just to be sure, your initial analysis by RNA sequencing was done in mononucleated cells or in hematopoietic stem cells? How did you do that when you started with RNA sequencing?
in the first study.
Yeah.
No, that was a mixture, and that of course it was some of them were just mononuclear cells and some were CD34 positive. Most of them were CD34 positive, and of course that was what it was. We did what we have, but it's true it should be CD34 positive. So that we in all the prospective studies we're doing, we're selecting CD34 positive cells and doing it in them.
Okay.
But actually data look quite similar, and I think, you know, since all the cells are part of the clone, right? So, but the correct way is to look in CD34.
Sure.
If you have time, I have last questions regarding the methodology to address the discovery of neoantigens. And you started from RNA sequencing, but probably this method will indeed generate some help you to find some neotranscript, yes, but this is not absolutely sure that the neoproteins and the neoepitopes are there.
No, exactly. So what we have done also in the study that is now published, we actually did some mass spec studies also, and we can see that some, I mean, we have selected some of them, and we can see they are indeed expressed as peptides. So. Okay. So we are going to do that also for selection, but I think it'll be difficult to do it for everything, right? So, yeah.
Yes, so thank you very much, Kirsten. And indeed, it was a great talk with a lot of data, and thank you for that. And hope to see you soon.
Yeah, I hope to see you soon. I'm so looking forward to go to France, actually.
Very much.
Nice meeting.
So now nous allons faire une pause et nous reprenons à 10h.
10h15 en fait. On a décalé à 10h15 pour laisser le temps de faire la pause.
Très bien.
On reprend à 10h15.
Bonne journée.
Au revoir.